You guys remember Budweiser put out a Father's Day ad and we looked at it and I kind of liked it because, well, I kind of like the people that are involved in it, and mostly, well, it wasn't really met with scorn. It was more or less just kind of met with apathy. More or less because Budweiser, well, it's just kind of also facing a similar fate to that of its sister brand, Bud Light, well, because they kind of share the same naming conventions, right? Like, there's only so much disassociation you can make from wholesale Budweiser as opposed to Bud Light. And that is kind of an inexorable tie-up, but for everything that they were trying to do, and I'm sure that this contract was already signed, the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted, and yes, a full-on Griffey campaign, including senior and junior, was already in the works. And it was fine. In a vacuum, it would have been really good as a Father's Day acknowledgement. Like I stated before, the most famous father-son. I'm pretty sure. Like, unless LeBron and Bronny end up playing in the NBA, this one right here, it's definitely the most accomplished father-son duo that's out there. And while nothing outside of every other beer brand closing up shop, nothing's really going to help Budweiser and rise up in the sales charts right now, and definitely nothing else under the Anheuser Busch umbrella. It was good enough. It just came and went. I guess it must have been good enough for Budweiser to look at that and go, ooh, I think we need a little bit more of that, because check this out, right? And tomorrow, okay, if we're taking a look at the aspect of Major League Baseball, because this is the tie-up, because Budweiser is still a big sponsor of MLB, like, Christ almighty, you need any more confirmation of that? What's the name of the place where the St. Louis Cardinals, probably the second most, it is the second most decorated franchise in all of Major League Baseball. What stadium do they play at? All right, Busch Stadium. Big shock on that one. But yeah, Budweiser banners are all over every ballpark that's out there. It's one of the title check writers, okay? So, given the fact that the home run derby's tomorrow and then the big all-star game is going to be on Tuesday, well, Budweiser was going to roll out some merchandise that's out there, right? And given the fact the all-star game is going to be taking place for the first time since, when did Jason Giambi, because I remember when it wasn't the Kingdom, it was Safeco Field. I forget what the fuck they call it now. I remember that all-star game. God, that was a good home run derby. But no, it's going to be back in Seattle for the first time in just about 2 decades. Don't quote me completely on that. I forget when it was. It was back when I cared about baseball. Well, it's been a long time. But if you're going to be marketing some new merch associated with the All-Star Game, because it's Budweiser and Ken Griffey Jr. All-Star Game collection, who else are you going to pick? Okay, Felix Hernandez could have kept it together a little bit more. He could be up there in that pantheon, and I'm sure there's going to be some Edgar Martinez simps. But when you think Seattle Mariners, the host team of this incarnation of the All-Star Game, you're going to think of the kid, right? There's nobody that's even close. Ichiro, he's kind of a brand unto himself. It's Ken Griffey Jr., right? So yeah, this is another shrewd marketing decision by the Budweiser department, which, I don't know, maybe they need to lend some common sense over to their sister brand, because it's smart. It's real smart, because they can go with a generally likable individual with Ken Griffey Jr., and slap a crown on the backside of that, and it doesn't look all that bad. It's a fine design, but the announcement, given the fact that it's a couple days old at this point in time, still getting hit up with memes, man. That one's my favorite. Oh my god, whoever did that is a total savage to begin with, but it doesn't matter if it's on the main Bud Light page, the Bud Night page, or the Budweiser page. People are still responding, going, I'm good, I'm out. Oh, more refreshing replies to brighten your day, boycott Bud Light. It's dead, Johnny. It's totally dead. Even if you want to go ahead and drag Ken Griffey Jr.'s name and reputation through the mud in order to try to pop a little bit of a rating and get a couple of buys back, because, okay, if they want to go buy a Budweiser shirt, are you guys going to become a t-shirt company? Are you going to start moving away from beer, given the fact that ain't nobody buying it unless it's absolutely, totally 100% free, even which, the only people that are taking you up on those offers are the thieves in convenience stores. But I guess this is more or less rehabilitation by proxy, just trying to be close enough to the situation and leech off some goodwill. I don't know if it's gonna work, but God bless. Budweiser's Ken Griffey Jr.'s All-Star merch slammed amid Bud Light boycott, which is still hilariously going on. The fur surrounding Budweiser and Bud Light in particular is showing no signs of abating. Partnership featuring Budweiser and Major League Baseball legend Ken Griffey Jr. has been criticized for its merchandise. Bud Light's parent company Anheuser Busch was accused of desperate marketing over its 4th of July ad featuring Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl winning star Travis Kelce. Yeah, that was a hilarious ad as well. Out of all of the ads Budweiser, Bud Light, Anheuser Busch has put out since all of this stuff kicked off in early April, or the tail end of March, if you know exactly what's up and you've been following this stuff, Father's Day commercial was far and away the best. The Dylan Mulvaney ones are just cringe-inducing. Bud Light's new campaign, well, their chicken fried one was so blitheringly retarded, but that's why they just went, ooh, I guess we already shot this, so we got to put it out. And everybody just bid on that and just laughed at you because it was, mock-worthy. But then, yeah, with your relaunched campaign where you just, hate on the dudes, everybody called you out for that. It's been a total disaster. But Budweiser, on the other hand, their Clydesdale ad, which also had a couple of little earmarks of diversity, equity, and inclusion earmarks, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, I see what's going on here. But the Father's Day commercial does stand above the rest, even a 4 in a sea of 2s stands out, okay? This followed a sustained backlash to the beer's brand partnership earlier in the year with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Yes, we know. It's so weird to see this picture of Ken Griffey Jr. It was kind of more apt when he played with the Cincinnati Reds and then with the White Sox for a hot second, and then his second go-round with the Mariners for just a couple of games before he called it a career. I understand that he looked more like this than he did as the phenom of the early 90s, but it'll just always be a little bit uncanny for me. Anyways, now Budweiser has faced a heap of negativity after announcing merchandising linked to its Father's Day promotion involving Griffey Jr. Many commentators have said the damage has been done with the Mulvaney controversy, and the beer brand's response is being accused of alienating its traditional customer base with the partnership. Yes, I'm so glad, because it's definitely moved on from, oh yeah, Dylan Mulvaney's kind of weird, and I don't know why you want to have somebody that appeals so specifically to children in order to market an alcoholic beverage. That's a little sus. I wonder if Ted Cruz ever followed through with that threat that, ooh, maybe we should investigate Anheuser Busch over that. Yeah, he's more or less just trying to get attention for himself because he has an election coming up in 24. Some of the gay community has also slammed the company for not defending its ties with Mulvaney. Yep, that's why you never, ever deal with that side of the aisle, because you can never, ever be pure enough for them. In a July 6th tweet, Budweiser USA announced a collaboration with the MLB great, telling its followers, "Looked like an all-star introducing Budweiser Ken Griffey Jr. All-Star Collection." Budweiser ad was made by award-winning director LaShawn Harris, who saw Griffey Jr. recounting memories over a cold beer with his father, Griffey Sr. It shows their unbreakable bond, and with a junior giving a voiceover features archival footage of their baseball careers. The nostalgia tinged promo looked to pull at the heartstrings. The announcement to the merchandise has not had the same effect. Yeah, with many taking to social media to continue their anti-Budweiser stance. Not after the Dylan Mulvaney collection. Hilarious. Another added bluntly, just apologize. Exactly. They haven't done that at all. They've just continued to kick the can down the road, hoping eventually you'll just pick it up and return it for deposit. Or you'll eventually get thirsty and need to come back, which it doesn't really seem like that's going to be happening. A third agreed with that sentiment, telling Budweiser, all you have to do is say you're sorry. Yeah, and pledge to continue down an either apolitical or return to your roots, Big tittied blondes with machine guns and bald eagles and explosions. That's all we want. It's not that serious, and it's not that difficult. There was more disappointment with another replying to the brand's tweet. Ugh, loved the shirt till I saw the company behind it. You couldn't tell from the crown? Like, are you that dumb? Former executive of Anheuser Busch has dismissed the company's response to Mulvaney criticism that it did not support the gay influencer during the boycott of the beer brand. Anson Fredericks, the former president of Anheuser Busch's sales and distribution company, called for the resignation of the current U.S. CEO Brenda Whitworth over the handling of the boycott. Speaking to Fox Business, Ashley Weber on July 3rd. Oh, this is new. Haven't heard this one before. Fredericks said Mulvaney was was right in her statement condemning the company. Oh, so he's just hey, two former employees spurned, getting together, you know, the whole enemy of my enemy is my friend situation. I understand. Bud Light is trying to be everything to everyone, and now they're being nothing to anyone. Oh yeah, exactly. Self-inflicted wounds for sure. Yo, man, that looks like more of a dude than any other pictures, you know, pre-surgery or anything like that. That right there, that wouldn't look unfamiliar outside of a Men in Black scene, okay? Like, creepy. Very creepy. In an Instagram video, Mulvaney addressed the boycott and the company's response. Yeah, we've already been over that. So we'll see ultimately what happens. Does Budweiser have enough juice to get Griffey to go down there wearing one of the shirts to just smile for the people, wave at the people, promote the shirt for the people? You think they're going to be able to pull that off? Not entirely sure, and I'm not going to check because I couldn't be bothered to go watch the All-Star Game or the Home Run Derby. MLB has stunk for a long time. They've continued to make decisions that doesn't help the game of baseball. It just continues, kind of like Bud Light in that situation, to try to appeal to the people that were never going to watch the product to begin with, and then driving off anybody that was interested in the product to begin with. You guys made your own bed, now lie in it, hopefully face down, because that's the way the Dylan would prefer it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.